this so fast. You do so fast. Look at you. My goodness. My goodness. All right. Let's do this thing. We don't necessarily have. Hey, wife quest. Hello. Yeah, we got the whole fam in here. Good to see you. Congrats, Code Cuber, for first. My goodness, so fast. Blaze Alamod on YouTube. Good to see ya. Shouldn't there be auto redeem for the first? Nah, man. Nah, if no one redeems that for the whole stream, no one was first. Not a single person was first. You can make nanobots. Yes, absolutely. What I can't make is music. Because now we're monetized on YouTube. And YouTube has been sending me all sorts of notifications saying, hey, you have to revenue share with this artist and you have to do this and that. And I'm like, okay. Guess I just need to figure out music. Blaze, why do you think I should make a Metroidvania? Tell me why. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on that. Welcome in, everyone, though. It is so great to have you here. Look at all these people jumping in so fast. It's wonderful to have you here. I'm excited. We're going to be doing some post-jam updates, which I think is going to be my first post-jam update I've ever done for a project. But Nano was something really special. It became something really cool. It got such great feedback. People saying it was their top 10 game jam entries for GMTK that they played. I feel like this really deserves a little bit more love and attention. So we're going to go ahead and fix some of the bugs. We're going to do everything that we can to fix that stupid slide in, slide out nonsense. We're going to introduce a couple of power-ups. We're going to do a health up power-up. We're going to do a shield power-up. And maybe a charge booster. And then the last thing we're going to do... What was the last thing I wanted to do? There was something else. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. I mean, we got all these tasks here. So, we'll probably ignore most of these. But we're going to do the slide... Oh, the slide problems we're already in doing. Okay, so we've got the pickups. I'm going to throw that up to the top. That will be our next thing to do. Oh, yeah, and then make the cannon barrels track the player, which would be nice. That's such a rabbit hole. You're the one that told me that's the way, Zaft. You're the one. I need a good Metroidvania to play, and all the ones I can find don't suit me. Ori is really the only one I like. What do you like about Ori, Blades? I'm curious. So, like, spoilers, we haven't, like, done the official announcement. But we've mentioned it once or twice on the stream. I am building a Metroidvania right now. I'm building it alongside WifeQuest. It's in very early days. We're in the design phase, but we're taking my Pirate Jam 15 submission, and we're developing that into a tiny Metroidvania you'll be able to play and beat in like 4 hours. So that's the project that we're working on. We've been working on off stream and stuff. What did I tell you? You said that like it's the tradition, or maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was Prodigal Son. Maybe Prodigal Son said the tradition is to do a post-jam update. I may be mixing things up. My apologies. So yeah, Blades, what did you find meaningful in Ori? It's cute, not too complex or difficult to play. Okay. Have you heard of Gato Roboto? Also, yes, Ori is too difficult. What the crap? How do you get through that those platformers, climbing out of that volcano and saying this isn't complex to play? What are you talking about? Gato Roboto. This is a very cute Metroidvania that I played through recently. It is a tiny Metroidvania. And let me get this pulled up here. There we go. Gato Roboto. All purple names are the same too. His name's actually like blue for me, I think. See, Gato Robato's pretty great. Hey, Karazest, good to see ya. Or Karazest, sorry. Welcome in. Glad to see ya. So, Gato Robato's pretty darn cute. There's... what else have I been trying out recently? There's... I mean, honestly, we just tried Waco the Mask Gatherer. It's not so much Metroidvania, but it is kind of like... It's got a cute art style. It's kind of Majora's Mask-y type sort of thing, but that's kind of Metroidvania, right? You're going to be unlocking power-ups and coming back and doing things. Sick moves, bro! This is how you get a wife. This is how you get a wife. You bust out moves like that. And then the first person that says sick moves, bro, you put a ring on that finger. Alamod, looking forward to the launch of your jam later tonight. I was brainstorming all night a game idea, and I've got a game idea that I'm actually really excited about. So as soon as the jam starts, well, not as soon as it starts, because it's gonna be starting when I'm in bed. But during my downtime over the weekend, I'm really looking forward to building my idea. I think I have something really fun I'm really excited about. So, and thanks to WifeQuest for the ideation support on that. Let's see, what other cool Metroidvanias have I been kind of kicking around? There's Carrion, which I've been really wanting to get into. I own it. It's on the list of research projects for me, Carrion. This is a what if you were the thing? Or we're going to do like a full cinematic intro. Okay, so you are this. You're this massive tendrils going through and eating all of the scientists who beckoned you into this dimensional plane. I hear it's really good. It's really good. Am I making something for Banana Jam? Yeah. Am I rizzing up the banana event? Oh, dear. Yes, and I think I have a fun take on brain rot that is going to not murder my soul in order to do. So I'm really excited about it. I have to tell my brother I have to marry him because Joe said so. Let's see, what are some other good Metroidvanias that are on my docket right now? There's... Antechamber is not a Metroidvania. Come on, come on. We're going to be checking out something that is tagged as a Metroidvania on Monday, which is Dread Delusion. I don't think this is a Metroidvania, but it shows up when you search for Metroidvania. But I got provided a key for this, Dread Delusion. It's a very, like, PS1, PS2 style aesthetic, like old EverQuest style aesthetic, and open world RPG. I mean, it's 2,397 very positive reviews. Like, it's supposedly really, really good. So I'm really looking forward to checking this out and see how they kind of deliver on something that has a very deliberate aesthetic and why it's getting so many reviews. We've got, oh yeah, hell yeah. Oh yeah, and Guacamelee. If you haven't played Guacamelee, that one's great. Definitely check out Guacamelee. It's an open world RPG. Yeah, I mean, you know, you can kind of classify Metroidvanias as an open world RPG a little bit, but it's really stretching that definition. So Guacamelee is pretty good. Definitely recommend that. Hell yeah is also very good. Wrath of the Dead Rabbit. Guacamelee is one of the best examples of having your traversal upgrades be combat abilities, and your combat abilities be traversal upgrades. Really, really solid design on Guacamelee. It did get a sequel. I haven't played it. It's really good, though. Hell yeah, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit is... It didn't get as much notice as it should have, but it was... Oh my gosh, this trailer is terrible. It was a lot of fun. I remember having a lot of good times with how you ride around in this... motorcycle that's a giant saw blade. And it's just kind of like a fun, blast your way through everything type sort of Metroidvania. I just barely beat the Night Witch, which was a very satisfying Metroidvania. Not incredibly tiny. I beat this one in 14 hours, it looks like. And that was after I put on cheat codes, because I was like, I'm not going to do the stupid challenges here to get 100%. I want to get 100%, but I'm not going to do the challenges. They're ridiculous. But look at this art. You tell me this is not like Ori and the Blind Forest level of illustration, right? Axiom Verge is also very good. Yeah, I've played Axiom Verge. I mean, look at all this. Isn't this gorgeous? This is freaking awesome. it's a little bit weird. Like I was saying yesterday, I feel like the Metroidvania scene over the past decade has been going through this kind of quiet renaissance where it's been all 2D platforming RPGs, and now we're starting to see a lot more expansions on the idea. So this is actually, despite what it looks like, I know what it looks like, this is a twin-stick shooter Metroidvania. And it's really good. It's really good. It's got a charming story. The art is fantastic. The gameplay's fun. I never quite got sold on the tarot card system, I'm not going to lie. It was kind of fun, but at the same time, I didn't really see it tying in very cohesively into the rest of the game as well as it could have. But other than that, I mean, it's a really good game. Definitely recommend Night Witch. Excluded because of my preferences. What sort of preferences? Because if you have preferences against Night Witch, that would be helpful for me to know, because that seemed like a dead ringer for what you were talking about. Mystic Bell is an interesting one. Once again, it kind of takes a bit of a different genre. It's still a 2D platformer Metroidvania, but the 2D platforming is really secondary. The big part of this game is right there, the puzzles. This is really an adventure game. This is an adventure game Metroidvania, and it's really interesting. That's just what Steam told me. I don't remember setting preferences. Got it. And then, of course, Nan0, right? I mean, Nan0 it's probably going too far into that Dark Souls type. I mean, it has Souls-like as a tag, but it is gorgeous. It's a really good Metroidvania. We had a really good time playing through that on stream on that insane week that I was streaming for like 12 hours a day. Really, really good. And then I've also heard really good things about Bo Path of the Teal Lotus. I can pull that up. I haven't played this one, but I've heard really good things about it. Our good friend Tataz says it's really good. It's very similar in visual style, you'll see. But released kind of around the same time as Nan0, and I think everyone was just kind of like on Nan0 when this came out, unfortunately, so it didn't get very much attention. But from what I hear, really good Metroidvania. Also very pretty. I can't testify as to like the gameplay. And then Rain World I hear is good, although I haven't really played it. Steam, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is not a Metroidvania. Come on. Turbo Kid, which we played on the stream a few times, thanks to Alistios, is also very good, but also kind of like a little bit graphic. And then this is another one that's been on my radar for a little while. I own this. I got it on sale. It's another example of a very tiny Metroidvania. You can see it's pretty small in reviews so far, but you are this alien, and I think they have like some procedural animation going on the limbs and stuff. Kind of Majora's Mask-y. You're stealing the skulls and wearing them in order to gain their powers and stuff. I hear it's really good. It's kind of one of those lesser-known things in the Metroidvania community. So that's kind of my current list of cool Metroidvanias. But yeah, I definitely recommend Night Witch. If, based on what you told me about what you liked in Ori and the Blind Forest, Night Witch is really cool. You might want to like check some gameplay videos before checking it out. But I enjoyed my time with it. Like I said, other than the challenges I just found onerous. It's the sort of stuff of like, beat this 18-wave nonsense without taking a hit or within a certain time frame, and it's just super freaking hard. Grown my wish list by 7 games. Good. Excellent. That's what we're here for. All right. Hey, look at that. That's AB. Go play AB. I still need to go through and finish that out. All right. We're going to do some game dev. You got me talking about Metroidvanias, and boy. And then, okay, another one you may want to check out. Oh, gosh dang it. As soon as people start bringing up Metroidvanias, which is not even a genre that I have been super into my whole life. I've enjoyed Metroidvanias, but boy, have I been really getting into it. If you do, I'm so sorry. No, I'm looking forward to it. Eterna Noctis, I've also been seeing people talk about in the Metroidvania community as kind of a love it or hate it Metroidvania. It is and the reviews show that it is mixed, with 1,275 mostly positive, 21 recent mixed. It is supposedly, I mean, it's gorgeous just by looking at it. Some people say the combat isn't as fun as other Metroidvanias, and other people say that there are really unique moments in all of the gameplay that really outshines everything else that you don't get in any other game. It's very special and unique. So it's kind of just, it's either going to be for you or not for you. Prodigal Son, good to see ya. Welcome in, friend. All right. Back to Nano. First, we have purple names. Joe can't tell us apart. So I'll show you what your names look like for me. You ready? This is what people's names look like. Get rid of the path. Come on. This is how I see chat. I see your profile image. I see the platform that you were on, and then your name in cool gray. That is what I see. That is what I see. I'm literally colorblind for usernames. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, first on the docket is this deeply, tremendously annoying bug. Where when you play this frickin' game, the towers will zoom in and out with no regard. They will get stuck. So, like, that is how it's supposed to look. It zooms in. Look how fine everything is. It zooms in. Hooray. Excuse me. And then, yes, Prodigal. Eventually, they will either they will stay on the screen forever, or they will stay off of the screen forever. And the only thing I can imagine is that they are being called too early. So, like, they are in the middle of their animation or something, and then they get called out again. Because this tends to only happen for... when things get really intense. Like when we start to see things speed up a bunch is when, yeah, right there. We just saw a laser shoot without the laser popping out, right? We're gonna be seeing it more and more and more. I'm just gonna try and stay alive. I'm not even gonna try and go for score. I'm just gonna stay alive. Oh dear. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah, there's another one coming on the side. So the longer it goes, the more and more this starts happening. I'm not seeing things staying out into the page anymore, though. I'm only seeing them, and that's all that I saw people comment on was coming from off screen. So that's interesting. It used to be that they would be both on and off. Now, after some bug fixing right before the jam submission, it seems like it's only happening off. I don't know. Are they on a timer? Kind of. So we have our spawner here, which is each of these markers with corresponding towers stacked inside of them, right? So the script for this is... oh, and you know what? We need to do times delta. That's another thing people mention, is that on, like, really high refresh rate monitors, it was tremendously more difficult. And I think it's because of these timers not being tied to delta. So we're going to tie it to delta. So this timer goes down. When it triggers, we get our the amount of things that we spawn in is equal to a global value, which is essentially like how much time has passed in minutes, and we grab the int of that. So if it's been 1 minute, 1 tower comes in. 2 minutes, 2 towers come in. 3 minutes, 3 towers come in, right? Then we get a random number, and if your spawn rate is greater than 9, which is the maximum amount of towers we want on screen at any one time, because that's ridiculous, then just stay at 9. For I in spawn rate, we make a new random number. We get a random marker in a group. These are all in groups. Turret markers. And then we get a random turret from that group. So we get this marker and then a random turret, excluding the hedgehogs. I would get to see some laser spawning out. Yes, that's another thing. Okay, so we need to get the We need to get the hedgehog tower up and running. And then we need VFX. Interestingly enough, I had a lot of people asking for a health bar, and I kind of don't like that. I don't know. I got to figure it out. So guess what, Coconut? I am my own worst enemy, and I'm always judging myself more harshly than my peers and boss. I'll summarize it like this. You are performing at your level as expected. Your peers respect and value you. You are a dependable leader and know when to push back. Thank you for your service. I was wondering how it went. Here's a kicker. Boss said, but I know you're capable of more. Why are you holding back? I want to promote you to principal engineer, but you're not giving me what I need to do so. What? Is this the same guy that was telling you you need to stop pushing back so much? What's going on with that? Also, do you want to be promoted into principal engineer? Because, like, the manager should be having discussions like that. That shouldn't be a surprise that you're on track for being a principal engineer. Like, that's something they should be discussing with you frequently. He wanted me to do it in a more loving way. Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, it sounds like it went well overall. I'm glad to hear that. Sort of gave up on it because I want to do my gaming studio. Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. And like, has that been? I mean, it's hard. You don't want to say like, hey, I'm kind of viewing this job as a stopgap until I get my thing off the ground. But have you mentioned, like, you know what? I'm kind of content where I am with this position. I don't really want more responsibility. I don't want more time commitment or anything. I'm kind of at a phase of life where I need my current position. I love how the ship starts to wear down, no health bars. Yeah, I agree on that, honestly. There were, like, no comments about that. And then the last, like, 3 or 4 comments were all like, we really want a health bar. My pitchforks are very ready and sharp. That's funny. At a larger damage effect. Yeah, I didn't add any VFX in there because I think there was some sort of... well, maybe there wasn't. I'm trying to think why I didn't use Cartoon Coffee's pack that I've used in like every other game jam. I don't remember why. I didn't use it I wasn't going to use it in the solo jam because they said no paid assets, please, if you want to be eligible for prizes. And I thought, well, I mean, that's kind of like the spirit of the competition, so. All right, so then if... current turrets. What is current turrets? As an array. What is current turrets? Current turrets. If current turrets... what? So there is a particle effect on it, I think. Let's double check this. It's not wrong, but I love to be challenged. I want more to do. But more means more potential to burn out since I have less time to build my next game. A mix between Dice Folks and Super Autopats. Maybe Wild Frost, Prodigal? Those are like 3 of my favorite games of all time. So hook a brother up, man. Like I wanna play that game. Nothing is spawning. Did I change? Oh, spawn cooldown. Well, shoot. What is this doing? Spawn cooldown. You'll be my QA. More than happy to. Just get my name on your credits. And voice acting, yes. Free voice acting. Okay. Omega Ohio. Alright, take care, Alamon. Have a good sleep. Joe Fox McCollum, my game's mule. Yes. Yes, I'd love that. So, okay. Delta's not being good. But there was that problem that Nektos brought up of playing it on a high refresh monitor is a totally different experience than on a low refresh monitor. So do we not have like capped frame rate? I thought we automatically like capped that. Mothman, good to see you. Welcome in. Max physics steps per frame. Forgot one more thing. Remember I applied for another team. Yes. Just got reached out by their recruiter to schedule a meeting next week. Ooh! I'm a bit torn, but my mentor said go through the interview process and only be torn when you get an offer. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Only, oh dear. Yeah. Always be applying. Don't make any commitments. And don't treat anything as a commitment until a commitment is on the table. And until then, you're just talking with people. That's it. And you never know where those talks are going to go. It could be that this doesn't result in an offer, but that's not the definition of success. Maybe it's going to be you've built connections with people, and then you find out one of them is also trying to build their own game, so you can guys go off and build your own stuff, right? Like you never know where things are going to go. You just keep your options open and you keep going. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we got Wife Quest Hat 1. How about lerping the ship to the mouse? I was wondering about that myself, Alamod, of like having a bit of a lag on it. But I kind of decided against it because I feel this is a game about precision control. And taking away precision control, I think, is going to be really frustrating to the experience. But I also considered that. Like, that was definitely something that was on my mind as well until I kind of wrestled it around a little bit. 4 and 5. Whoops. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, good night. Okay. Update iterations per frame. I don't really... See, this is all going very outside of my area of expertise here, which is to say UX design. I do not understand frame rates and everything. Godot cap frame rate. Godot for timer in process frame rate. Because this is the problem. Timer is only evaluated during the process physics stages. This means that the timer signal will not be emitted exactly when the timer elapses, but only in the next time during process physics after it has elapsed. This isn't a problem with longer timeouts, like over a second, where it's not noticeable. Sure. Oh, I wonder if that's part of our problem, because we are speeding this up. Right here, we're setting it equal to this divided by the time scale. So if you're going for like 6 minutes, well, that's still like 600. I'm gonna do print spawn cooldown here. I kind of want to see how this is going. I'm wondering if it's becoming a problem of it is just happening so fast that it's kind of breaking a little bit. Does fixed update exist in Godot? I don't know. I don't know what fixed update is. I'm assuming that's a Unity thing. Oh, oops. Didn't mean to put that in there. Play. So we're at 600. Now we're at 400. Oh, divided by 1.5. Still at 400. $300. So that's a big jump from the first stage to the next stage. We go from 1 to 1.5 and then 1.5 to 2. That's not as big of a shift. Okay, now we're at 200 and things are breaking. We went from 240 to 200. Okay. Okay. Wonder why mostly 2D games make it to the top. Because 2D games are, in general, easier to produce, so you can probably just pump a lot more polish and ideas into them. 3D games are more difficult to develop. They require a lot more math. And so as hobbyists, people don't tend to get very much into the 3D space until after they've kind of mastered a lot of 2D stuff. So there's a lot fewer people building 3D games than they're building 2D games. So you've got kind of a selection bias there. But then also, they're just faster to make, so you can get more built into them. But I've noticed an interesting trend where people release very successful 2D games, and then their next game tends to be 3D. Happened with Risk of Rain, happened with Hyper Light Drifter, happened with a couple others that are not coming to the top of my head at the moment. But I think there is a very definite broad market appeal to being in 3D. And I think that's what those studios are learning, is they figure out how to make a good game and build a brand and have a following. And then they say, now it's time to build out our market more. Let's build a 3D game, because I think there are a lot of gamers that don't consider 2D games, that just see it's 2D and think, eh. Hey, Pixelate, good to see you. Abigail, good to see you. So many screens. I'm confusion. What's confusing for you, friend? What screens? 3D games take more to make. Yes, absolutely. And 3D games require so much more content to not look empty and bland. Yeah, also true. First 8 games were 3D because Blender. Well, sure, yeah. 2D games are mobile games. 3D games are AAA quality. Yeah, a lot of people have that impression. A lot of people really do have that thought process. Okay. Code screen looks like a background, but is actually live. Good to see you, Abigail. Yes, this is the code for my GameMaker's Toolkit 2024 Jam submission. We're trying to fix this really irritating bug where you can see you have this mouse cursor, you're trying to charge up these circles, get a score, get high on the leaderboards. Eventually, these towers start sliding in and blasting you. But we have a problem where the game gets faster and faster and faster. And when it gets too fast, these towers stop sliding in. And I don't know why. They're not coming in anymore, and they're staying off screen, and they're shooting from off the screen, and it feels really bad. So that's what we're trying to fix right now. But I have really loved building this. This is far and away my best game I've ever built, and that's really rewarding for me because I'm coming at this from a non-coder background, trying to get into a totally new industry. And it's very gratifying to see the first things that I built and now seeing this that is getting into the top 16 to 20% of the jam with 7,500 submissions. So that's very rewarding for me. Making the origin of the inner circle constrained to the direction of the mouse. Making the origin of the inner circle constrained to the direction of the mouse. I'm not sure I'm following, Alamad. Is there some math going on in the spawn animation that breaks for fast speeds? That's what we're trying to figure out. I don't know if it's about the sliding in or if it's about spawning. My kind of theory is that they get triggered to come out, and then the spawning rate is so fast that it is like triggering it for a second time before it's gone back in, right? Even though we have all these checks to make sure it's not, I kind of wonder if that's what's happening. And I wonder if I get rid of this timescale here, where we're taking our cooldown, we're resetting it, but then we're dividing it by how much time has elapsed, essentially, to make it go slower or go faster. If we remove that, is it still going to break, or is it going to be the same, or is it going to all of a sudden fix itself? Hey, Shepherd's Hound, Len, good to see ya. How are you, friend? New layout? Yeah, we're trying to level up our game here a little bit. We're getting a little bit better, a little bit every time. Still have terrible emotes, so we need to get a professional involved in those, but we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, let's see how this goes. Why is no one talking about my hat? Which hat? One second. right, the witch hat, of course. So we've got 2 sun hats from my wife. We have a fedora. We have an octopus beanie, and then we've got a baseball cap, and we're getting 2 more added. All right. Here we go. We're gonna throw this one right on top. Whoop. There's the normal toque, and then we've got our explorer's hat. There we go. There we go. P.O. Box win. When we get enough income to not be terrified. That's when we do a P.O. Box. Heavy-headed and heavy-handed, my friend. That's how we roll over here. I started doing this long before ever meeting Captain Coder, who, by the way, is fantastic. If you don't follow Captain Coder, you definitely should. Incredible game dev educator on Twitch. But we started doing this, and then someone said, wow, you're like Captain Coder with all those hats. It's like, what are you talking about? And I tuned into his stream. Dude has the exact same gimmick, but slightly different. And I just thought, oh boy, oh, see, it already went off screen. Okay, so it's not about the spawn rate. Okay, that's interesting. I said, man, I hope I never meet that guy. And now we're pretty closely associated, but yeah, right there. Okay, but that's good learning. It's not about the spawn rate. It's gotta be about, yeah, it's gotta be some funky math. Like it's sliding in or out wrong or something. All right. Okay, we got add a special hat, Blades. Oh. Do you want, Blades, the mushroom or the fairy? I'll let you decide. Mushroom or fairy? This is about the number of lasers. I didn't see it happen for a single laser. I think that's coincidental. Fairy, you got it, Blades. Gosh, I need to angle this up a little bit. There we go. All right. So we can actually see this nonsense. Okay. Store origin as its starting position. I mean, I guess we could just hard reset back to the starting position. So let's check out what the like movement script is for this. Oh, you know what? It's probably in here, isn't it? In our spawner? Maybe? No. No, it's not. Okay. Here we go. Here's the slide in. This is for the inner circle. Vector 2 dir equals new vector 2 transformed out screen position. I don't understand what that's accomplishing, Alamad. I don't speak that language, apparently. What is it that code is trying to accomplish? All right. Just got to respond to a text from my wife real quick. Okay. Kalukale. So what we have here is based on the rotation. The rotation is all working fine. This rotation degrees is working just fine. But based on the rotation, we are doing our global position X and our global position Y equal to an offset at the rate of 1 divided by our timescale. So when it's getting to like 2.5, this is now, you know, a half a second or less than a half a second, right? And then we are making a timer to basically say, wait for that animation to finish. And then you can say you're no longer animating. This code is meant to make the inner circle be looking at the direction of the mouse without moving out of the outer circle. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I actually kind of like the spinny rotatey effect, but I definitely see what you're saying. That's kind of cool. And then the slide out is literally the exact same thing, but in reverse. It should just be copied and pasted, and we're swapping all the additions for minuses. We shouldn't need rotation degrees in here, because that's already set. But that's not going to be what is like causing the problem. What if I'm struggling to visualize this. I think I need to move this stuff inside the frame so that we can try and actually see what is happening. All right, so it's sliding down and then sliding back up. Did that go way too far? Yeah, look at that. It went way too far. Oh, and it went back again. Did you see that? Did you see that? It didn't happen with this one, though. It's like repeating itself. Is it doing the slide out twice sometimes? Okay, keep an eye on this top right. Aha! That one also did it twice. Why is it doing it twice? Why are you doing it twice? When are we doing slide out? Slide out. Okay. Asleep because it's a theme reveal day tomorrow. Yes, sleeping for the second time. Fun to see Joe making a brain rot game. Yes, Oliver, I'm gonna be taking a bit of a different approach to brain rot. I'm gonna be a lot more literal. A lot more literal and less cultural about it. But I'm really excited about it. So thanks for hosting a game jam and wishing you the best of luck. That's a lot of effort. We'll talk to you later. Have a good rest. Okay. This is getting called twice when it shouldn't be. Something is happening here. Why are we making this timer here? So if the attack cooldown and the wave cooldown is less than or equal to 0, you shoot. And then that's going to repeat. We're in the process. So then we decrement our wave cooldown. So basically this is like for the cannon, right? It is shooting bursts of bullets. You know, let's go to the laser first, because that's going to be a little bit simpler. The Tesla. That won't have the whole wave nonsense. Why are we doing this timer here? If attack cooldown is less than or equal to 0, shoot, and then we wait for the shooting to be done. Okay. And then after the shooting is done, we wait another 2 seconds. So, like, theoretically, these things are kind of happening at the same time. Okay. So we turn the laser on for 2 seconds, and then we hide it and turn off its collision shape. Why don't we put slide out in here? I mean, it's kind of mixing things up a little bit, but because the method is called shoot. Exactly, right? It's mixing things up a little bit, but I'm wondering if it's going to fix the problem. Let's see here. I don't necessarily know why it would fix the problem now that I think about it, but I don't know, maybe. Come on, we need a laser from the top. Give me a laser from the top. Okay, there's a top laser. Okay, didn't slide back. Let's see how long this goes for. Okay, we're not getting a double slide back there. Ooh. No double slide back. Oof. Is it fixed? I would love it if that's the case. We're not getting anything disrupted. We're at 3.5 on the time scale. And you know what? It did always seem like it was always the lasers instead of the cannons that were having that problem. So maybe that did fix it. That's kind of terrifying because I don't necessarily know why that would have fixed it. Unless it was like going through, doing this, and then while it was doing this, it was going and doing this, and then you'd get like 2 instances of it running code because of the await, like running the same thing because of the await, maybe? Like this created a timeline and this created a timeline, and then they would both run through the rest of that physics step. That might be why. If this fixed it, I don't understand it. I think this game would work better if, and this is out of the box thinking, it was made using Unity. Oh, the ones you don't know why. Can you make shoot awaitable? As in like await shoot? Like that? That's an interesting, you know, I never thought about doing that, but that makes a lot of sense. So if we then delete this and then delete this and we do slide out, is that going to work? That would be interesting. Yeah, Avagrail, I see what you're saying there. I think that's really smart. I think that's really smart. But if that's like the problem, I would love it if it were that simple. That'd be great. I did have a hunch that it was happening whenever the same laser tower was picked twice. That was like my second theory. It was just when it got picked for a second time and then it would break, and that would explain kind of why I was thinking that if it was branching off like that, because that would have been every other time it activates. Okay, we're at 2. Once again, we did learn this isn't relevant to timescale. Okay, it's not doubling back. I think this is probably it. I think that's probably what it was. So the await, the double await created an echo that was still running. That's really interesting. It makes sense now that I think about it, but obviously I didn't ever conceptualize that beforehand. Okay. A glitch in the await matrix. Yeah, I think this is looking good. And I'm not seeing the same problem happening with the bullet towers. So if we go to the cannons, I'm kind of curious what we're going to find there. If we go to the cannon scene, we await. So we shoot, but there's not an await in the shoot. So we shoot, go through here, we do the await, and then, okay, that's why that one was working. Oh, that's so cool, because you know what? We actually had this problem with the cannon. If we go back to the VODs for the final hours of the GMTK jam, I thought I did fix this problem when we only had the cannon tower. And then we built out the laser tower, and then all of a sudden I had the same problem again. So I was like, oh, shoot, maybe I didn't actually fix it the first time. But no, I did. I just introduced another problem. So what is this language you're using? This is called GD script. This is for Godot. Godot 4.3 is the version that we're on. Godot, if you're unaware, is a open source game engine. And it's gaining quite a lot of popularity, especially after Unity has had their, moments. And it's really cool. It's open source. It's free. It is a nonprofit. And is making some really impressive updates. People are saying it's going to be kind of the next Blender story, how Blender started off kind of janky and then kind of got better and better and better. And now it's more or less the standard, except for like Maya. If you're in a really high intensity professional setting, they'll still use Maya. It's becoming a similar thing with Godot. Totally not a cult. No, that's Pirate Software. Like, not Risk of Rain 2, but Slay the Spire 2 has announced that they are switching from Unity to Godot for Slay the Spire 2. So, for whatever that's worth. It's a cool game engine. I'm enjoying building in it. I started off in GameMaker, and I've transitioned into this. I do want to start learning Unreal sometime soon, which is going to be exciting. And then after Unreal, we'll go on the Unity bus and kind of see what we can build in there. And then when I feel like I have an idea of what the four main engines kind of provide, then I'll probably just kind of settle into Godot, I would imagine, unless a project calls for something that one of those other engines is going to do better, which is why I want to learn them, so that I can actually understand them a little bit better. Okay, how about RPG Maker? That may be a fun thing to learn, like, for a jam. It's not necessarily something that I would want to learn in a way... like in the same way that I'm learning these other ones, right? Where I do like big deep dives and I try and really grok them. RPG Maker would be kind of one of those ones that would be kind of fun to build in, see what it can or can't do, and go from there. I did just finish playing a game that was built in RPG Maker called One Shot. If you haven't played One Shot and you're a fan of games like Undertale, definitely recommend One Shot. Very, very cool. The first little while I was playing with it, I was kind of unimpressed. Like, there were some gimmicky ideas that were kind of fun. But then near the end, they kind of brought it all together in a really interesting way. Especially if you do jams, Godot is king in that context. Particularly because of the really good web export. Unreal, if you don't have a web export, that's pretty brutal on getting your game played. But Godot has a really neat and tidy web export. So, kind of use Godot without all the hats. You can, but like, is that really living? I don't know. All right. Only if you buy the plushie. Hats are mandatory. By the way, Shepherdstown, how are things going? I think I just saw your game go on sale recently, I believe. Ooh, shoot. Wait a minute, there's a remake of Age of Mythology? Why didn't I know about this? Age of Mythology's freaking cracked. When did they do a remaster? It's releasing in September. in like a few days. Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to need to jump on that. Incredible. Oh, I loved Age of Mythology. Oh, the Osiris of... Oh, man. So cool. All right, well, that's a thing. It did for Gamescom. It missed because... You missed it because you're sick, so you said, oh, gotcha. How are things going with that? Are you still having tons of success and things are looking up? Let's jump back in here. For those who don't know, Shepherd's Hound is working at a studio, and the game that they are making recently won... Was it GDQ's? One of GDQ's kind of best of awards? Okay. What are we gonna do here? We got Tesla Slide. Done. Let's start. You know, let's build in the Hedgehog Tower. Oh man, this freaking Hedgehog Tower is gonna be the death of me. Let's go back to our spawner. We're gonna turn these back on. And the way we do that is by changing this from 1 to 2. And now all the Hedgehog Towers are now enabled. OnlyFans. It's going pretty well. It should hopefully full release soon. Nice. Very cool. Gatekeeper Blades. How many points do you have, man? That is supposed to be so prohibitively expensive. Thank you for your loyalty. Let's see. Gatekeeper. Do I own that one? I don't own that one. What is Gatekeeper? Gatekeeper. Co-op rogue. All right, hold on. Let's take a look at Gatekeeper. GDQ. Oh, GDC, not GDQ. Duh. Yes, of course not GDQ. Of course it's GDC. I don't know if you could speedrun Pico. Yeah. Isometric roguelite. Okay. Let's take a look at this. We'll pick this up and we'll probably jump into this. So, well, we might actually have time today. This might be a little bit of a long stream, so we might actually have time to do this today. Fast-paced roguelike. I want a quest to find the stolen heart of the universe and shoot your way through the hordes of machine enemies. So it's a survivors-like roguelike. Defend against dozen of enemies. I would love it if there was literally 12 enemy types and that wasn't a typo. It was just very clever writing. That would be very funny. They make too much sense to me, but that's kind of what I hear from people. Either it's intuitive from the start or it makes no sense no matter how much you try. Oh, Godot nodes make no sense to me. Oh, interesting. I've heard some people say that, and they really bounce hard off of Godot due to nodes. And I'm kind of with Hellraiser. Like, it took me a second to kind of conceptualize how it worked, but now it's hard to imagine not operating in nodes, you know? Put it in off-topic channel. You got a puppy? Congrats! Ooh, so cute! It's so cute! Oh, what a precious pupper. Aww. Thornity, good to see ya. Managed at the last minute to decide and register for Next Fest. Shut up, Thornity. What are you even submitting for Next Fest? What have you been building? Hold on. Is this in my spreadsheet? No, Thornity, you're not in my spreadsheet. Yeah, you're not in my spreadsheet. What have you been building? You don't know? Did you really sign up for Next Fest with no game? Godot nodes are the most intuitive, not the best model from all engines I've tried. Interesting. Yeah, it's hard for me to even understand what is hard for people to understand about nodes. I'd love to do an interview and like chat. Like, what is it about nodes that struggles? Can you show me how you try and build something in Godot and walk me through your thought process? That would be very enlightening for me. Signed up with your past jam game. Okay, cool. Was this for solo dev, GMTK, pirate? What was your past jam? The end always comes. Okay. Nice. Wave-based game set on another planet where players face the... Why am I not following you? What the crap? Hey, two nerdy nerds, Matt Young, Connie Dev, seen a lot of names in here. Seeing a lot of names. Nice. That's awesome. Very, very cool, Thornity. Well, keep us updated on how that all goes. I wanna know. Oh, this was for Pirate Jam 14. Oh, man. So this would have been, like, right when I started getting into the scene. Holy cannoli. Very cool. Have you been building it out since then? Stressful and hard part starts. Good for you, man. Good for you for taking that plunge, you know? Even if this is the worst case scenario, right? You end up not getting something out that's very good, or you don't get anything out at all. This is still a huge, like, leap forward. Taking that next step next time is going to be even easier. Like, huge ups for you. Haven't done anything since that point. You got this, Thorndy. We're rooting for you. Very, very cool. Memphis with the clear hats. Thank you. Oh, look at that hat hair. Nice and flat, nice and dispersed all over. Delicious. Absolutely. That's why people struggle so much. It's like speaking a foreign language, translating really hurts. If someone can compare Godot knows the similar thing in Unity so I can understand it, that'd be great. Gotcha. Nodes operate a lot like objects and classes, so it sort of just clicked. Yeah, for reference, the language I'm most familiar with is PowerShell. Okay. Never seen you without the hats before. Shoot. All right, we're going to go ahead and pick this up for the Analyze Any Game. We're going to go ahead and buy that. We'll get it downloaded, and we will see if we can get to that by the end of the stream. If we're able to finish... Oh my goodness. Doing anything with Steam on the web is just a nightmare. If we're able to get all of the stuff done that I want to get done for the post-jam update, then we'll jump into this today. If not, it'll probably have to wait until, like, Wednesday. And I apologize about that wait, but I do think we might be able to squeeze this in, because we're going to be going for a decent amount of time today. We're going to have Junior Dev hanging out with us every now and again, so it's going to be a little bit of distracting, but should also be a good time. All right, there we go. Picked it up. We're going to download it. I'm going to get a Steam notification sound. It will be my Steam, not yours. Okay. A node is like a Unity object then? I mean, kind of, yeah. Like, this is a sprite. This is a sprite node. It is just a data object that holds a sprite, right? This is a button object, and it just holds a bunch of behaviors and data for what a button would need. They're like pre-built objects in my mental model. Just trying to get some reputation, so next Analyze is a kind one. All right. Very cool. Nefis, how are your projects going, by the way? You were the one that was working on Ordo, right? How's Ordo been going? A node with a script is like a component. Okay. Oops. All right, let's go ahead and see what's going on with the hedgehogs here. And just how busted are they? What are we going to have to fix? Because we got them like halfway implemented, but I just couldn't quite get things operating correctly. Okay, so they are shooting out. Ah, that's right. And then they like reset and are constantly strange. A node is a game object, basically. I haven't used Unity yet, so I don't know if that is a specific keyword that would make more or less sense. To me, that makes perfect sense. Okay, so we got a top hedgehog. How is that going to look when it resets? Okay. Oh, because they're going off screen at different times. They're going off screen at different times, and that's why they're kind of getting reset in weird patterns. Okay. All right. We're jumping into ads in just a minute. It's both a game object and a component. Okay. The scene root node is like the object, and the nodes inside the scene are like components in Unity. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, it's definitely a mental model, but like the way that it makes sense for me is just if I want to build something in the game, I add a node. And that's kind of just all it comes down to. A node is like the stuff that is in the game. And then scripts determine how that node functions. Okay, so hedgehogs. Let's go to this scene here. We have these guys. These spines are in the spine group. The spines have a signal that when screen exited, we delete them. We need to change this to well, do we need to change it? Is there like a way that we can check if something is on screen without it being the signal, right? So can I do like visible on screen .offer.2d is on screen. Okay, so we can loop through the group of spines, see if all of them are on screen. If none of them are on screen, run the delete function. Okay. That's probably what we're going to do. Don't know as much about Unity to really comment on it. C# I only have a basic knowledge of because of its similarity to PowerShell. Fair enough. You can have a node inside a node carrying a script that acts as a component to the top node that acts as an object. Node inside a node carrying a script that acts as a component to the top node. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of makes sense. To me. I mean, I'm sure it makes sense, but you can do objects inside objects. Each object can have a component too. Oh, okay. Sounding pretty one-to-one to a certain degree there. Godot just doesn't differentiate. There we go. There we go. Interesting. Huh. So that's kind of the mental break is, what are we calling these things? Godot says everything's a node, and then other things are like, no, like an object is comprised of components, and it's kind of a more atomic structure. I mean, they're both atomic structures, but it's more linguistically defined in other games. Since your tag says UI UX, what's your 30-second wisdom on game UI design? I'm struggling. The most basic advice I can give on UX or UI is your design should be, if at all possible, self-evident. And if it can't be self-evident, it should be self-explanatory. What I mean by that is if someone can sit down and just instantly observe the experience and understand it, you're doing good. If they have to like read about it and have to read stuff on your screen in order to understand it, that's okay. If you're not at that level, you got a lot of work to do. And the work that you do there is you put people in front of it and you develop good testing standards. Hold on, I got a book. Where is it? Come on. Oh. All right. This isn't the exact book I was thinking of, but it's pretty close. This is Don't Make Me Think by Steve Krug. Don't Make Me Think. We'll have to flip it, but really great book on how to help people figure things out. So he's going to go through in this book. He's going to talk to you about how to set up good usability tests, how to ask questions in a way that doesn't lead people in. So, for example, if I wanted someone in Nano, I wanted to see, do they understand the charging mechanic? I would not say, move your mouse into the circle and charge it. Like, that wouldn't be the task that I give. I wouldn't do that. I would maybe ask, like, before you do anything, tell me what you see on the screen and what do you think you can do here? What do you think this all is? And then they'll probably go through and they'll say, well, I don't know. I'm seeing this kind of spinning robot. I see a little gray circle. I guess I don't know. That's kind of it. And then I see this kind of, these numbers that are floating around. Okay, go ahead and start experimenting and let me know what you think. And then they'll start trying keyboard, maybe, or mouse, and they'll see, oh, okay, this is how this works. Okay. Well, what happens if I do this? And they'll just kind of start exploring. And you observe human behavior, and through the observation of human behavior, you're able to determine how are people reacting to it, right? Polls and everything I don't recommend. Just put someone down in front of it, ask them a good question. Gotta get good at asking questions, and see what they react to it. And then the rest is just scientific process, right? It's just, I have a hypothesis. I'm gonna try something. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try something else, right? All right, I'm making Ordo, but I'm not motivated to finish it due to job hunting. But I'm working on a real-life light project that will help my son to fall asleep easier. Oh, nice! And when not doing that, I work on another game called Nada. Very cool. Nemesis, sounds like you're very busy. Didn't understand it said nano. There you go. See, that's exactly the sort of thing that people would be able to bring up during these usability sessions. And I'd be able to see, oh, you know what? People aren't really getting the 0. They're thinking it's something else. Maybe we need to readjust the typography, or maybe we need to readjust the name, or the graphical treatment of things. So, and you pull your hair out while you watch them refuse to acknowledge the concept of holding buttons exists. Yes, you will always have hair pulling out moments, especially if it's like your first 10 versions of something. You're always going to have hair pulling out moments where you put someone in front of your project and you say, try and accomplish this thing. And they will do the most. Like, if you play D&D, you know exactly what's happening here. The players never do what the DM expects, right? It's always something weird, wacky, and bizarre. Like, well, I tried pouring coffee on the keyboard, but that didn't really seem to help. You're like, why? Why would you do that? And you chip away at it. You round off those edged corners a little bit by little bit. I'm shocked that book doesn't have an audible book. It doesn't. Really? Wow. K in Noda is not silent? Oh, well, okay, there's another usability thing. So it's Kanata? I would not have expected that, my friend. Thank you for sharing your design wisdom. I mean, it's, you know, glazing over a million different things. I think there's a really cool story that I think illustrates the concept really well, though, which was an old test on the old 90s version of the Disney World website. They had a problem. Disneyland had a really big problem. Disney had a really big problem where people would sign up for Disneyland or Disney World and they would try to sign up for hotels there. And they would buy their hotels for their respective vacations, and they would arrive and they had booked the wrong hotel. So they had either booked in Disneyland when they meant to be in Disney World, or vice versa. Now, if you know anything about geography, you understand that these two places are not close to each other. They're on opposite ends of North America. Hence the problem. So Disney ended up having like entire floors of their hotels reserved for these reservation errors. So they brought in some design folks, and the task that they would have people complete was sign up for your vacation in Disney World, and then after they've signed up, say, can you take the train that's in Disneyland from your hotel to a ride? And they would see how many people said yes or no. And astonishingly, of the vast majority of people would say yes that had booked the wrong hotel. So they were then able to start discerning, okay, this is the point where it is breaking. This is how people are thinking while they're going through it. We now know how to resolve the issue. So anyways, I could talk about design for hours and hours and hours and hours. I've been in the design space for over 10 years. I have opinions on it. We could definitely chat about any sort of question you have. I'll do the analyze any game, redeem again when I find something else for you to analyze. Blades, absolutely outrageous. Thanks for being here. Nekdos, good to see you. Welcome in. Don't Make Me Think is fantastic indeed. Don't Make Me Think is good. Rocket Surgery Made Easy is also good. These are all Steve Krug books, I believe. Rocket Surgery Made Easy, and then The Inmates Are Running the Asylum is also very good. Steve Krug has a template in here that I still use today during most of my usability testing sessions, where he writes out like a script to go through to try and level set expectations, educate the testee on what it is that they're trying to do and all that sort of stuff. So I only know let's do UI later from work. Yeah, and that's kind of the way the industry has evolved, unfortunately. About 20 years ago, the UX was really heavily valued. It's what really gave Macs a huge differentiating lead on Microsoft for a long time. And then, in my opinion, what happened is that Apple realized there's a lot of power in the aesthetic usability effect, which is if something looks better, people will think it is better and that it feels better, even if it's not true. And they poured really hard into that, and they hired their chief evangelist, who did his job way too well. And that has had ripple effects across all of tech, all the way up until most recently when UX has really become graphic design. That's what most UX positions are nowadays. They are graphic design positions. And if you can say, I think about the user, and like have a couple instances of kind of considering the user, maybe doing a testing session here or there, then you're going to fit in very well in UX, which is deeply frustrating for me because I am not a graphic designer. I am a UX designer. I am much more about strategy and flow. Let's build a journey map. Let's talk about the risks in each step. How prone are to error are these things, right? Doing all of the much more in-depth marrying of business goals with user goals and creating a delicious little profitable baby. That skill set is not really appreciated anymore. So big bummer. Dev team walks into a bar. They order 0 beers, 1 beer, and 999,999 beers. Output is expected, so they call QA team over. QA team orders -1 beers and beers. Output is expected. As they breathe a sigh of relief, a customer walks into the bar. They ask where the bathroom is. The bar explodes. That's hilarious. Oh, I love that Hellraiser. That's incredible. UX equals UI in industry? Yes. And not even like full UI. It means UI artistry is really what people want. They want UI artists. And I'm not bagging on UI artists. We were just playing Mark of the Deep, which had really cool UI art, and it really elevates the experience. But like, you don't tell your marketers to be your sales team, right? Those are different professions. But for some reason, UX has been completely sandbagged over the past decade or so, which super sucks to see. In fact, my wife has been trying to find UX positions for me, and most of the UX positions that she finds are now merged in with other professions. So it's like a UX engineer or a UX artist or a UX marketer. Like UX just on its own, the industry is not in a state where it values it right now, which is really depressing, really, truly depressing. At my last position, there was a very seemingly innocuous decision that was made. For context, we made pharmaceutical robotics. And so it was about getting essentially really smart vending machines in a hospital that can get medications to the right patient at the right time. A product manager was going to make a really innocuous decision. Didn't seem like a big deal, but I heard it and I checked it against the work that I had been doing of journey maps, understanding the flows, how people receive medications into the organization all the way through to the dispensing and issuing of them. And I knew there was going to be some problems here. I mapped that out on a risk chart. I took the journey to the team and I said, listen, there is a problem here. But if we change this idea in just a very small way, we reduce the amount of errors that can happen here dramatically. And because of that, people probably won't die. Because in the way the idea currently exists, they may run out of medicine before they know they've run out of medicine. And then in that time frame, they're going to have to run back to the central pharmacy somewhere else in the building and then grab something and run back. And in that time period, someone could actually die. That sort of stuff does not get caught by UI artists because that's not their job. Oh, man. Been in a place where I am the UX and the UX teams are just graphical design for so many jobs in a row. Yeah. What have you added or changed in the update so far? We fixed the stupid laser towers shooting from off screen. We fixed it and we learned something new about awaits. We had 2 awaits in that process. And so we were like creating an alternate timeline, an echo of the code, and they were both running at the same time and sliding out. So that was the problem. My sister is in UX research and it's difficult to find a position. Yeah, UX research is really struggling right now. Which also sucks because, geez, is that such an important field. 2D Fighter, it's going very well. Thanks. We're doing some post-jam updates for Nano, and we're trying to get this Hedgehog Tower up and running. When I'm not getting distracted by yelling about Metroidvanias or the state of UX in tech. So welcome in, 2D Fighter. It's great to have you. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. By the way, 2D Fighter, I left a comment for you in the Fig Jam that we're working in. When you have a moment. I don't think there's been an answer to that, but maybe there has and I just missed it. If that's true, then my apologies. Let me check here. Is there a response? No. There's not a response. Good. Okay, good. I left a comment. Do you know the Wood? The Wood? Like in what context? Like the band? Or the Wisconsin Union Directorate? Or World Usability Day? Yes! No joke. I actually worked with the creator of that at this pharmaceutical robotics place. So her name was, what's her name? Elizabeth, Rosenwig. Rosenwig? I don't know how she pronounced it. Very, very cool designer. She is, at least the way it sounded like, yeah, she's the founder and director of World Usability Day for the past 20 years. Yeah. She was rad. She was rad to work with. She was very strong opinioned. And she was one of those bold New York Jewish women who, like, were going to let you know what was on their mind. And that was very different for me coming from the Midwest. But I really liked working with Elizabeth because we were always able to have very good, frank discussions and create good stuff by the end. It was good. So. Went back over that Kickstarter and yes about the game is halfway in the page. Yeah. And they had the GIF at the very beginning, to be fair. That was good. But you know. Have I changed the speed of collecting spheres? No. No, I haven't. And I don't know that I will. I don't know that I'm going to. I know that was a comment someone had that, like, maybe they should all be the same because having more space to dodge is advantage enough. But I don't think it feels very good. I don't think it feels very good. I think it's better when it's faster, like with 144 hertz. That's the other thing Nectos is I've been trying to figure out what that frame rate problem is. I haven't been able to really figure that out yet. Gives more fun with more pacing like that. Okay, cool. Thank you, 2D Fighter. Appreciate you. Okay. So, Hedgehog. We need to make it so that these spines, you already added the delta, so probably fix the 144 problem. I got rid of the delta, though. I got rid of the delta because it was making the timer completely wrong. So if we go here, we do times delta, right? We'll spawn in. Things will never spawn. Right? So you can see our output there. It's going to be super duper slow. 100 times delta? Why 100? How are we getting to that number? Delta is a very small number, so you can make the other number bigger. Yeah, but then, like, if you want to do something every X seconds, how do you know what number to put that at? Like, there's got to be a mathematical approach to this, right? Huh. What was that hitch there? That was weird. It's not doing it the sec... Oh, it is... Huh. What is going on with that? Are you seeing those hedgehog spines kind of like stop halfway through a little bit, and then they speed up again? We're not doing any more, but watch these guys. Ah, right there. See? Super slow. What's going on there? FPS times delta. Okay. Yeah, I can see how that works, Zaft. So, like, if this is running at 60 frames per second, you should do 60, right? Like, 60 times delta would theoretically be, if the game is running at 60 frames per second, that will get you per second adjusting for frame rate, right? Does Discord ever do co-working? Like Discord the company or the Foxhollow Discord? Okay. Guess 60 times delta is 1 then. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. You know, I haven't seen too many people leveraging that, but we do have voice channels. Let's add I mean, there's the general channel, but let's rename that, because I like the idea of there being a co-working thing. I think that's going to be a keyword that people key into. So we're going to do general co-working. There we go. Okay. Thank you, Zaft and Nektos, for that little tutoring session. So for the hedgehog, we need, for these spines, to check if all of them are off of the screen. And if all of them are off of the screen, then reset the position. Right? And then disable it. So we're going to say, it's more like amount you want to change per second times delta. Amount you want to change per second times delta. Sure. That makes sense. I'm going to need your help designing a good wizard. Sure, like designing narratively or mechanically. So we're going to go ahead and do group. Var spine group equals get tree dot get nodes in group of spines. Okay. Avagrill with swap hats. Both sounds good, Tootie Fighter. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Come on. Come on. Okay. We'll go with the old baseball cap. It doesn't see a lot of love and attention on the channel because my wife is nearly always stealing it. So what we do for new people, if they swap hats when all the hats have already been taken, we put a hat on. That's what we do. Normally that only replaces a hat, but for the new people, we throw a bit of a channel point bone. If you move a character position X at 100 times delta per process frame in 1 second, it will move by 100 pixels. Okay, sure. 60 times delta wouldn't be 60, right? Yeah. The documentation didn't say that. We need to get some documentation written up. Okay. So we don't want to do this in ready. We need it in process. So we need if for spine in spine group, if spine dot is or dot get child. Will you ever get tired of analyzing games? I don't think so. I've been doing it my whole life, and I'm not tired of it yet, and I get more and more interested in it the more and more that I learn about it, and the better I get at it. So, and the more I'm able to help people is the big thing. You know, if I'm able to help people, then triple so. So I don't think so. This is, I think, like my big passion in life from a professional standpoint. Okay. If spine.getChild, we need to get the notifier. Get child. And it is what? What are you looking for here, get child? You're looking for an index. So this would be 0, 1, 2. How do children of children work? I'm assuming it's ignoring children of children. Oh, we can do -1 to do the end of the list. So we can count backwards. Oh, okay, let's do that. Get child of -1. Dot is on screen. What's the keyword here? Visible dot is dot yes dot is on screen. Dot is on screen. Then return. Else oh no, that's not gonna work, is it? So we need to move this actually into its own method. Func reset check. There we go. And then return. And then otherwise, we are going to move the spines back to their position. Instead of hooking up to delete, we're going to hook up to reset check for that signal. Okay. I think we can just nuke that at this point. Need to check if I'm still at the top of the leaderboard, but I don't think anyone beat me. I think so. I think you claimed your spot. Yeah. Let's see. So that should just reset, right? So we check, and then we reset, and then we say for spine in spine group, spine dot disabled, or enabled equals false. Is that gonna work? Let's check this out before ads start. Oh, we need to do an on ready here. On ready. Okay. Got a laser to start off with. Okay, here's a hedgehog. Is this going to reset the way that it should? Okay, it's not flying back out again. That's a good sign. All I really want a top one to fall out so that we can observe it a little bit better. Woo. Yeah, we're still getting that weird hitch in the middle. That is so strange. Wonder what on earth could be causing that. I'm not... That was weird. Huh. I'm not seeing anything kind of recent. This hitch is getting worse and worse and worse as time goes on. Why on earth is that happening? Whoop, jeez. Come on, give me a hedgehog on the top. Give me a hedgehog on the top. Bro, come on. Give me some minutes, the hedgehogs. I mean, this is a good, here we go. Now we finally got a top one. Let's see what's actually happening here. It's going backwards now. I'm not seeing those spines reset. Jeez. Okay. We're in ads. So we're going to go ahead and stop this real quick. We're going to go to... Oh, shoot. I just missed my... Sorry. I gotta go take a break. I gotta go take a quick break. We'll be right back. I'm going to do another round of ads. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We're going to do another round of ads. But that will mean an extra long period without ads next time. So we're going to be right back. Name off 5 mythological races that you like. Sorry, seeing that? Whoa, that was still going. Okay. Minotaurs. Ogres. I mean, that's not a mythological race, though. I mean, I don't know. How are we defining mythological? Are we talking about, like, cultural mythologies, like Norse, Grecian, African, that type of mythology? Or are we talking about just generic fantasy? All right, I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Thank you for your patience there. Think D&D type stuff. Yeah, so minotaurs, ogres, giants, goblins, orcs. Yeah, I kind of go classic. Top 5, I think those are the top 5 for me. Minotaurs, without a shadow of a doubt. And then I think ogres, and then giants are always fun, but like orcs would probably take place over them. And then like I love goblins because they kind of intersect with ogres a lot. And then I don't know, it'd be a toss-up for me of like giants or maybe gnolls. Gnolls have really cool mythology in D&D, so Yi-Nagu and everything, if you know, you know. Okay. Oh, those are all like monsters. They're all traditionally against order and what you might define as good. Recent editions of D&D are kind of changing that lore, but traditionally they are the automatic bad guys we don't have to feel bad about killing. Unicorns, nice. Oh, shoot. Yeah, it's an interesting point. Thinking of like mythological creatures, they're almost always antagonistic, aren't they? Like it's very rare that there's a mythological creature that is benevolent towards humanity. Like unicorns is kind of a good example, Abigail. But then like maybe like dragons in Eastern mythology are kind of that way. The metallic dragons in D&D are that way. But it's kind of rare that you have a creature that's benevolent. If it's going to be something that's not a human that is helping humanity, traditionally they are very humanoid. Star Wars kind of goes around this. Like they have like the slug face people, although they are bipedal and everything, so. Streamers. Shrek. Oh, shoot. That's funny. Okay, we're going to go into the game. I'm going to change our spawn to only spawn hedgehogs. And we'll be able to observe this a little bit more. Play. All right, give me some tops. Give me some tops. What's going on here? Man, that hitch is so weird. And it's so weird how it gets worse over time, too. Because all it is changing velocity y by speed, which is a constant, times delta. That's all it is. So I have no idea why it is reliably hitching in the middle of the screen like that. That is so weird. Hags. Hags are another really fun mythological race. I love the lore around hags and how just evil and obsessive they are. Oh, all right. So we got a top finally. Oh, is it happening when it slides in and then the spines aren't resetting? I need to see duplicates. I need to see a duplicate top go. It's got to have something to do with the slide in, right? Mind flayers and stuff are fun, and the Underdark and everything, but I've never really felt a strong, like, oh, yeah. Like, I'd love to do a full campaign around that, even though I could easily see full campaigns being incredible in those settings. They just haven't ever really called out to me. Why are we getting so fewer towers? Oh, because we're not dividing it by the global timescale anymore, which we should again. Come on, give me a repeat top. Why is this taking so long? that went zooming way north. Oh. Okay. Well, that's definitely busted. Yeah, and stuff isn't coming in anymore. Like, we're gonna get a couple towers right here. Not seeing a darn thing. Okay. Okay. So we're going to bring back the timescale, shortening the gap between each thing. But what is happening with our slide in, slide out? We can get rid of this rotation once again. We don't need these. Avagrill is asking how YouTube is doing. We're enabling the spines on slide out? Doesn't make any sense. The hedgehog shouldn't be doing that. That should be happening in the... I mean, at the very least, it should be happening in the chute. Yeah. It's happening right there. Okay. Huh. Weird. So we're going to do... chute. And then we enable... we can just get rid of that. I don't think we need that timer in there. The await. Minotaurs. Minotaurs. The half man, half bull. Ogres, giants, goblins. Oaks and nose. What are oaks and nose? Unicorns, shadows, undead. Sleepers? What are sleepers? Fairies, pixies, harpies, elves. Dwarves. Dwarf are really big. I don't know what oaks, nose, or sleepers are. But yeah, those are some of like some of my favorite things. I've planned out full campaigns around gnolls and going into the realm of Yinagu and fighting the massive the hungering hordes. I built out a full campaign around hags and their schemes and machinations and manipulation of the world and everything. Love it. A classic giant war with orcs and ogres and stuff. Oh yeah, that stuff is great. Now, for some reason, this seems like it's not quite working, where the global position is equal to the starting position, which is this. On ready. I'm going to throw in a print here. Global position is global position. Let's check this out. Where's that going to take us? Is there like a list of stuff you're going to work on, or are you open to suggestions? There is a list of stuff I'm going to work on. I am open to suggestions. I will probably not take many of them because I want to get this all done today, hopefully. Owlbear. Oh, classic Owlbear. And then all the permutations in Avatar, right? Of the turtle ducks and then they find someone with a bear, and they're like, wait, you mean it's a platypus bear? What, it's like a seal bear? It's just a bear? What does that even mean? Do Pokemon count? I love it. So they're coming out, but then they're not sliding back out. Why are we not sliding back out on the hedgehog? Let's actually go to our game. We're gonna remove our print so we can kind of clean up this log a little bit. Doot. Hedgehog, why are you not sliding out? I mean, you're getting called right there, right? You shoot. You set all the spines to true. Where's slide in being called? Is that happening in the spawner, I guess? Slide. Huh. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oops. Slide in. So on slide in, we go through, we move in, we create a timer that we're waiting for. Before what? Before setting animating defaults? Oh, right, because equal to this. Right. So that will just do that, and that's fine. And then we will have our process going. If attack cooldown is greater than 0, are we setting attack cooldown somewhere? Hey, Prodigal, good to see you. Non-licensed monsters law, no Pokemon. Do you still need the rotation here? I remember removed rotation the other. So I removed rotation from the slide out. And honestly, this rotation, if I was doing this better and revisiting it even more, I would assign this in the ready and just have another match in the ready instead of putting it in the slide in function. This does not need to be run every single time, but I kind of just don't want to touch it. So when is attack cooldown getting reset? Or called. Oh, right. So we need, in here, we have enabled equals false. Okay. And then we do the slide back in, and that enables it. And that's what resets it. But are we resetting this anywhere? No, we're not resetting it. Okay, so that's a bit of our problem. So go back to like our canon and grab the code for that. Where are we setting that? Attack cooldown equals? Are we doing it in the game? In the spawner? I know we're setting this somewhere. Attack cooldown equals, but that's only on ready. We have to be setting this somewhere else. Search across the project. So in the Tesla tower, we're doing that. Huh. Are we not resetting the attack cooldown after it's done? Kind of crazy. So when are we setting enabled equal to false? Right there. So wave count equals 0, and attack cooldown equals that. Wave count, and we need to set this not to 0, but to wave count max. Am I totally breaking things? Maybe I did this all for reasons, and I am now breaking everything. Okay. Let's go back to our Delta configuration majiggering enemy spawner. It is here. This is what we're looking for. So in our timers, we need to change these. Instead of cooldown -1, we're going to reset all these. Okay, that's looking good. And then we also need to put this in the Tesla. Okay. Are you planning on making some larger projects? Yes, Nekdos, we are. So my Pirate Software Jam 15, which was the kind of alchemy build your own attack thing, my wife and I are actually building that in our downtime to be a full tiny Metroidvania. It's incredibly early on in that project, just because we don't have very much time. She's prepping for conferences. I'm doing stuff for the stream, getting the game jam already, applying for jobs, all that sort of stuff. But that is the intention. Okay, I didn't see a hitch there. Oh, it's at the very beginning now. Yeah, like right when it slides out is when it kind of freaks out. Oh, because... I know why it's sliding, why it's hitching. Because when it slides out, the spine's position is relative to the base. So we need the spines to go all the way off screen and then slide it in. Okay, so the reset still isn't quite working. We're not putting the position back the way that they need to be. But we got the slide back doing better. That's good. That's cool. Yeah, we're really excited about it, Nekdos. I think it's going to be a good time. I'm in the early kind of design stage right now of what are we really trying to accomplish with this game? What do we want people to feel? What is the experience? All that fun stuff. And also kind of getting the work brought in from the jam, refactoring it a little bit, bringing in Metroidvania. So I've got there's actually a template for Metroidvanias on Godot. You can just download, and it's there, and it has like maps built out and exploration, all that fun stuff. So it's really cool. So I got that plugged in along with a really good controller script that also I found in the asset library. So that's all looking good. We'll need to fine tune everything, of course, but yeah, we're making progress. So okay. So the spines are not resetting. Why not? Global position. So we are setting it. Where are we printing a whole bunch of stuff here? Enemy spawner. Oh, you're not printing. Oh, what is this? This is getting 133.333, 5200. All right, let's go to our game check in here. This is where admittedly the print debug is nice, but it adds so much to the log. It's really frustrating. I wish I could just click on it here and it would just take me to the line of code that spat that out. Make your Metroidvania overload the Cyclops character or put him in the game. So this is going to be a totally different world, 2D fighter. This is going to be a fantasy world that is kind of exploring PTSD, essentially, is what the purpose of the game is going to be. It's going to be, how does a human react living in a world of high fantasy and what that might imply, right? Like, how would it feel if your parents could just get murdered by an orc that just happened to wander by when you're a little kid? And what about when you get drafted into the military to go fight a giant necromancer and you're just this little peon with heroes running around blasting everything, and you're just confronted with destruction and loss on a scale that is difficult to imagine. That sort of stuff. Dark. Yeah, it is going to be kind of dark. It's going to, I mean, I really want to explore that feeling of trauma and overcoming of trauma. I'm actually talking to prison inmates and seeing, how has it been in your experience? What have you had as a carryover from your experiences, and how have you dealt and processed it over time? Have you dealt and processed it over time? What are the symptoms that you experience and all that sort of stuff? Sounds like me in online gaming. It seems pretty interesting. I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know, it's all going to come down to the execution, right? But I am having a very good time with these ideas. They're very intriguing to me, and I'm pretty excited about it. So, right, where are all of our prints? You spawn cooldown. We can get rid of you. You spawn rate and timescale. We don't need you guys anymore. All right. Bugbears. Bugbears are a classic. Tabaxi, they definitely have their fans. Kenku's, bring in the fun character types. Can't actually say any words of your own. You can only repeat things that you've heard. Hey, K-Hido, good to see ya. How are you, friend? Thomas was alone and Celestial. You better watch out. Oh, Celeste. And you know, I have never played Celeste. But yeah, Thomas Was Alone is incredible. I wouldn't say Thomas Was Alone is about PTSD, but it is definitely a really powerful story of emotions and relationships. Is this your GMTK Jan game? Yes, K-Hido. We are going through and getting some stuff tidied up on. We're trying to get this last third tower type brought in. I want to do pickups for, you know, healing and that sort of a thing, and get a full re-uploaded version. We have a problem where this hedgehog tower, these spikes shoot out, but then they're not resetting, and I don't know why. Let's keep an eye out for these prints here. They changed the rules for Kenku's in 5e. Now you just have superior mimicry powers. That makes a lot of sense, because there were probably a lot of people like me that were like, ooh, that sounds really fun. I'm going to make a soundboard of a bunch of funny quotes, and that's how I'm going to communicate. And then people hated it. That character lasted one session. So overall, I think that's a good idea. You have to be incredibly prepared in order to pull that character fantasy off. We're not getting any prints. Why is that? Never played. Dang, it was just on sale on Steam. Cody, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So we're never hitting this. So are we hitting reset check? Reset check. So Celeste is the kind of game that I can appreciate from afar. It is not the kind of game that I think I'm ever going to want to play. Precision platformers drive me up the wall. I can definitely appreciate the artistry involved in dominating them and becoming very good at them and how good that can feel. But precision platform, like instant death mechanics, are almost always involved in precision platformers. And repeating the same level over and over and over and over again are also parts of precision platformers. And I just... Dude, I can't. I can't. You would hate it, yeah. Then you'd love Will You Snail. That thing is hell on earth. What? Will You Snail? I have infinite dislike for spikes. We agree on that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of instant death, just in general. I can understand why it exists. I'm not going to say it's a bad idea, but it is definitely not something that works for my brain in 90% of circumstances. So. There you go. Will You Snail is incredible in terms of... I've never even heard of Will You Snail. What the heck is Will You Snail? Will You Snail? Oh my goodness. It's a like geometry runner type sort of thing. Unique. Evil AI predicts your movement. Dodge AI spawned traps. Solve optional puzzles and uncover the dark secrets of the simulation. Now with a level editor and infinite community-made content. Interesting. So it's... Is it kind of like the conductor type sort of a thing from Left 4 Dead? Is that kind of the idea? Yeah, this definitely looks like the sort of thing that I would never want to really play unless it was incredibly rewarding and there was a really good reason, like emotionally, to play this game. It does look like exactly the sort of thing that I would lose my mind on. Predicts your movement and plants spikes. Oh my goodness. We all have our hated genres. First-person shooters for you. Interesting. Curious why. There's a boss that a ghost recording of you and you can't touch it. Then they have the nerve to drop 3 more at the same time. It's the bad game from Jonas Troller. It took him the longest, sold the least amount. Interesting. Jonas Troller. I haven't even heard of them. Very interesting. Okay. We are in ads. Because of course we are. Whew! I think what might be happening here is all of the spines are in a spine group. Like, I think this spine group is being shared across lots of different, across all of the hedgehogs for some reason. So we're going to do print spines spine group. Let's see what printing spine group does. Celeste is a great story. I have heard that. I've heard it's a really, really good story. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to close this down. Look at all these spines. This is all one call. This is one print. No, it's not. There's the second print. Okay. But this, I believe, till there. Yeah, there's the close bracket. All that is one. Oh. So it's grabbing all of the spines. All of the spines are in a group. That's frustrating because they are in a scene. So it's like it's a scene. Can I like make this unique or local to scene? Make local? Is that going to do anything? Like I kind of doubt it. Hedgehog. Because like it should already be that way, right? It should already be local. Can you phrase the problem again? So we have each of these spines for the hedgehogs in a group called spines. And we are checking to see if all of those spines are off screen before resetting them back to their global position. The problem is, like when they fire, they go off screen, we check if they're all off, and then we put them back. The problem is, all of them, all of the spines are in the spine group. It's not unique to each hedgehog, which is causing problems, as you might imagine. You cannot make groups unique. That's the whole point. So how do I detect if this hedgehog's spikes are ready to return? That's the core problem that I'm trying to resolve. How do I get the spines for each individual hedgehog? Come on back. It seemed to me like a group that is a scene group would be the logical way to do that. That would live inside the hedgehog scene. Sure. The group does live inside the hedgehog scene. Scene group is a sin against UX. It's a horrible term. What does it mean? Because I assumed that, especially next to global, that this is a scene unique, a group unique to the scene, right? Scene groups are global? What? Hold on. Scene group. Oh, you're not going to have that, are you? Go to the web. Go for scene group. What does this mean? Scene group. The same underlying logic is used for both global and scene groups. Groups with the same name are considered one and the same. This feature is purely organizational? What? So they are functionally the same. They just are putting them inside of a different group. So if I want to say, like, This is the group that is from this scene. Holy crap. That is horrible. Okay. Got it. Okay, thanks, Zaft. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. Well, that's not going to work at all then. This whole group thing, not going to work out. That is not how we're going to do this. So, I guess what we're going to do is spine. We're going to get rid of that. And we're going to get our reset check. We're going to bring it into the hedgehog. We're going to put it in as a new function. Okay. And then for spine in spines dot get children. Return, and then we're going to do spine dot global position equals spine dot starting position. This isn't totally working. I'm working through it in my brain for spine in this. And then we set each one to false. Okay, so what we can do is we can get rid of that and put it right here. So if you're not on screen, you are no longer enabled. So we can just delete that. And then I mean, what if we just do this? We'll just indent it. It's going to be a little janky because theoretically this is going to make it so that as soon as something is off the screen, it will reset to the original position. But at this point, I'm kind of willing to take it, you know? I'm willing to have a little bit of visual jank. Man, we get terrible luck on these top ones. I really should have more of these scrunched in so we can observe it a lot more quickly. And we definitely need to move the ones on the right. Ah, on the bottom, you're not moving in. We're not doing reset check. Oh, have we not told it to be on the lookout for that? Probably haven't told it to be on the lookout. Funk, ready. So we'll do this essentially, right? This, and then we'll do, how do we get your timer? There we go. Dot get child dot, slash dot, screen exited. That's what we're looking for. Dot screen exited dot emit or connect to. I think I can do that, right? Dot screen exited dot connect to reset check. Okay. Let's see if that's happened. And we can, I forget, we can just check the prints. We don't have to, like, wait for something on the top. Check your prints. Check your prints, Joe. So, like, we're getting closer, I guess, is my end takeaway here. We're getting closer. Oh, no. Look at that top. Yuck. And this one. Wow, look at this deterioration. Why is this so weird? This shouldn't be this hard. Let's also times this by global dot timescale. Make them travel faster, so they'll match up with the animation speeds a little bit better. But so the problem is, they're starting off exited the screen. Right? That's an issue. So they're starting off screen. Are you gonna... Oh, we got a reset check in the prints. Okay. Now things are going. That took forever. Why did that take so long? Yeah, look at the one on the top left there. So it's not just the global position that we need to be restoring. For some reason. Global position is not the totality of this. Yeah, look at this guy. Okay, let's take a look at our inspector here. What all have we changed? But we're not changing rotation. And we're not changing the spines element. We're just changing the spine. So why is it shooting out and then resetting in different patterns? And this is the only thing that's changing is rotation and position. And the rotation is not being reset. Like, the rotation is very clearly still there. But the position is not. It's being set to something very strange. Oh! Maybe it's because of this. That's got to be what it is. Because on initialization, these spines are recording their position. The towers, after everything loads, including the spines setting their position, are then rotating. Oh, dear. Okay, so that's problematic. Because I'm kind of just looking to get the game jam done and submitted. What if I did a naughty? So what if I did this, 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 and this, and we rotate these 180? And we'll just do it manually. And then bottom, you guys, excuse me, you're going to be 0. We actually don't need to do anything for the bottom. Left, you guys are going to be transformed to 90 to the right. And then right will be transformed -90. And then as well, we need to scrunch you in a little bit. Let's see if that fixes things a little bit. I don't suspect it's going to fix every problem because we were seeing several different problems there, but I'm hoping this will fix them, one of the really big ones. You got to move those left ones in a little bit. That was a little funky. The spines were not reset, but then they fired and worked. Okay, that reset worked though. Okay, well, I mean, there's some weird visual bugs where, like, they're just not resetting when they should be, but everything is firing correctly, so that's good. I mean, that's the big one. It is weird how sometimes they don't seem to quite work with that reset, but I mean, this is definitely functioning. I'll take it. I'll take it. We need to adjust some of the spacing on here. So you need to get moved just a little bit back to the right, and then these guys, the lefts, need to get moved just a little bit in. And then the bottoms, I think, need to get moved just a teensy tiny bit in. Doot, 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 doot. Just a little bit. Let's check that out. See how that feels. Don't know what happened over there on the left. That was weird. I don't know if any of you caught that, but it was like a hedgehog was shot off in the middle off of the screen. Looking for are things kind of coming in. The bottom ones need to go up more because we want them sitting right on top of the white bar. I need to see the left ones. And I haven't actually seen anything coming over from the left. So I wonder if the... let's just get rid of these rotations. Wonder if that's messing with things since I did it manually for these. And then we need to grab the bottoms just a little bit more. Let's check that out. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now we want to see stuff on the left, because for some reason the left is not working? Yeah, look at that one. Did that go in at a diagonal? Nektos, I totally agree. Yes. Yes, it's a great call out. I've thought that every single time I click on it, and I've never, like, made the conscientious thought to just, like, do it. Wow, we are not getting anything on the left. Look at that. Why is the left being so weird? I mean, your transform is correct. That's the way you should be facing. The left should be X plus offset, right? So it'll move to the right. That's correct. What are you doing? Why are all of a sudden you not working? Like, bring you way over here. See what happens. It's like one click also. I love one clicks. That's the best kind of thing to fix. Oh, I just thought up another hazard type. You could have like a full wall of spikes, top to bottom or left to right, and it like zooms it. Yeah, it's moving on the Y. Okay. I don't know why you're doing this, but your sibling isn't. The right towers work fine, so why is the left one behaving differently? I mean... that doesn't seem right to me, but if it gets the result that we're looking for, I'm kind of in the space where I'm okay with it. Yeah, why would that have changed how it functions? Like, it is operating differently than it used to and from all the other towers. So that's quite strange. Come on, give me a lefty. Give me a lefty. See, now it's moving. Like, I had it moving up on Y, and then it was doing the up on Y the way that it should. But then by changing the X, it's moving now on like it's counting the X as being rotated. Why? Oh, I think I just figured out why people were asking for a health bar. Because I'm not showing invulnerability, and so people were probably taking multiple hits at a time. And then being confused, like it didn't feel like every time they took a hit, it would, yeah, I bet that's it. I bet that's it. We need to have some invulnerability indicator. I bet that's why people were asking for a health bar. This is very weird. What is going on here? Let's just do this for easier debugging for a second here. Why are you sliding like that? Also, I'm realizing I may have been affecting the slide out function. I don't know. Slide in. U. Left. You are plus offset on left. But I guess you need to be minus. Because that's what your slide out is. Well, no, that should be the negative of. This is really weird. So, X, Y. We are rotating it. And so now X is going up, and y is left to right, which I can follow that logic as long as it remains consistent, but it's not remaining consistent. For some reason, only the x seems to be counting as being rotated. The y does not rotate, and I am really confuzzled why that is the case. I know, right, Zaft? That's what I'm saying. Like here, we're setting our global position x plus offset. We're tweening it, right? We're tweening the global position of x plus the offset. So that's the sliding amount, right? I kid you not. Look at the ones on the left. They're sliding up when they should be sliding over. Why? Why are they doing that? It's the same code that's doing all the other stuff. Right, we have x minus offset, x plus offset for left and right. Right is working, left is not. Left used to work, I manually rotated it, now it's busted. Did I change a different property? Like we're on rotation. No, that is what we changed for the other ones too. Isn't that so weird? But then, if I go to the hedgehog, and I say, okay, we're like rotating the axes. That's weird that only you are doing it, but fine. We can do a modifier to the y. So now we will go up on that. But then we hit play, and now it does the exact same thing that changing the x-axis does. Isn't that weird? You're fixing the lasers? Gron, we fixed them. I have great news. Those are fixed. I learned my lesson. We had 2 different awaits in the firing, and that was creating like alternative timelines and echoes and stuff that were breaking things. Just had to simplify that, and all of a sudden it all worked. We're trying to get this last tower type working, and it's like 99% of the way there. But for some reason, the towers that are rotated 90 degrees to the right cannot slide in the right direction. And I am breaking my brain trying to understand why. If I have the x-axis set, so this is theoretically, mathematically what's supposed to work. You can see it goes up, which makes a certain amount of sense to me if it's rotating the axes. But if I say, okay, the axes are rotated, let me go ahead and put this on the y then. I run the game, and you'll observe the exact same thing happens. Weirdly enough, this top left one is also operating differently from its siblings in the same row. That should have all of the same rotations applied. So something borked is happening here. I do not know what it is. I might just have to get rid of these ones on the left because we're kind of running out of time. Maybe it's rotated so much that you mistake it for the sibling? Well, I don't quite follow, but we can investigate the line of reasoning here. The transform is set to 90 degrees. Just straight up 90. It's not like at 700 or whatever. It is flat 90. And if we go to the right towers, they're at negative 90. And they're working just fine. Those are the only things that I've changed. So, like, I don't know. Maybe the project bug? Do I need to reload the project? Like, maybe it's not updating things correctly? Try and bring this back here. And we'll fix our size. Clonk. Right there. Let's try it again. Oh, and we're in ads. Shoot. Well, we're just doing boring debugging anyways. We're not really... It's still doing it! What are you doing? Not touching my game anymore and just messing around with Godot Twitch integration. Nice! Very cool, Gran. That's awesome. We tried doing... oh, wait, no. Godot Twitch integration, not Godot itch interaction. Got it. Very cool. Are you using Connie Dev's plugin, the Godot overlay one? Let's see. Twitcher. Yeah, Twitcher. Using Gift. Oh, okay. I haven't heard of Gift. This one was made by Connie Dev, who's a streamer, and has made some really cool stuff with this. Godot. Dude, Godot is like... Oh, wait. It's because it's stuck right there. Okay, that's why. Gift. Oh, Godot IRC for Twitch. There you go. Dude, Godot is being very strange for us today. I don't know what's going on. I'm not saying that there's a ghost inside of my computer. I would recommend someone bringing a priest over, though. Okay, let's bring this back to where it should be. It should be on the X. Let's see if maybe the reload has fixed it. No, it has not fixed it. And if we put the minus here, it's doing the exact darn thing. So what if we do like plus and then like 3,000? 30,000. Is it going to make any difference? No. Okay. Is this breakpoint getting hit? Yes. Wait, the top left one. The top left one worked. What? Okay, let's let this run for a little bit. Let's see if the left one works. Let's see what the behaviors are for these left towers. Yeah, it's still sliding up. Can we get the top left one to go? Because that's the one that functioned for some reason. For some inexplicable rationale, that one functioned. God, these hedgehog towers, man. They're being so unnecessarily difficult for me. It works. But we're not hitting the breakpoint on these guys. Is it as simple as they're tagged incorrectly?
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
Boo womp.
I just
Okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, man. There's nothing quite like realizing the only obstacle between you and the success you want to see in the world is your own stupidity. All right. We need to move the top hedgehog towers in just a little bit. I don't want them peeking over the border. Oops. Oh, shoot. You, down. Let's try that. Okay, it's looking better. The right towers need to move back a little bit. Left towers need to move forward a little bit. Left towers. And then the right towers will slide you back just a teensy bitsy amount. Let's run that. I'll take it. I'll take it. Now I just want to make sure that everything, when everything resets, it's all looking okay. Okay. Great. Let's go ahead and get rid of our slide in on ready. We're going to go back to our game, go back to the spawner, and we can have that spawn everything in now instead of just hedgehogs. And let's run it. Do one last, just double check. Double check that everything's okay. Oh boy, that hedgehog tower, man, that was... And it's still not in the state I want it to be. I want the things to go off in their various directions, but that is not happening. Not with the time we have available to us. There we go. Snuck it in. Okay. It was interesting that a lot of people talked about how the laser towers didn't feel threatening enough. And like, I feel like that's being, like, their purpose is being misinterpreted. Their purpose is not to necessarily hit you. They're to constrain the play space you have, right? So I don't want to make the laser towers... I mean, it would be fun in, like, right here, I'm kind of stuck in this zone. And when you start getting a lot more towers, that becomes a lot more difficult to deal with. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, we're getting kind of cray-cray. Uh-oh! We have a broken laser tower. Why did that happen? Uh-oh, we got another one. Oh, shoot. Oh, lasers! My goodness! Make the sprite or arrows point forward instead of left and right, so it at least doesn't look confusing. The sprite and arrows point forward instead of left and right. I don't understand what you're talking about, Nektos. Me win the you win the foxhollowgames stream. What? Snapthorn, good to see you, friend. How are you today? Welcome in. Okay, Hedgehog Tower is done, but Tesla slide problems have come back. Gosh dang it. What is going on with this? It's like the slide out doesn't happen sometimes. We're awaiting the shoot, and then we slide out. Is that our problem? If the bullets are just going to fly forward? Oh, I see what you're saying, Nektos. Yeah, honestly, if we're going to retool it, then I would want it to be like an arc. I think that would kind of communicate a wave that's going to move forward. I don't have time for that. That's what I would like to do with a little more time. And also, there's a slight noise background in the back here. I really want these dark pieces to be bright blue. That's what it's set up to be, but it's acting like a mask instead of a color for some reason. So I don't exactly know what's going on with that. That's another thing I would like to fix given time. I'm hunting for this slide-in bug to happen again. The Wukong game, Blades? Ouch. Ouch, ouch. Jeez. Well, I didn't see the slide-in problem there again. I do want to... where are we playing our sound here for the cursor? We don't have any sounds in the cursor. Player damage. When is player damage getting... Ah, ha, ha, ha. Okay. So it's in the game script. So we're going to damage sound. So we need to do if cursor dot invuln greater than or equal to greater than 0, return. That should fix the feedback people were getting when they were getting blasted. I think that's why people really wanted that health bar. So we're going to check that out, make sure that that's happening correctly while we're waiting for the lasers to break, if they're going to break again, if this is something we can reproduce. All right, laser on the right definitely needs to get moved in. Laser on the left needs to get moved in just a little bit. Yeah, the whole point of the laser is that, like, now I can't access that top spot. It's not meant to be directly threatening. It's meant to be blocking you off. And that really matters later on. So I'm hoping by adding in a third tower that will also kind of help shift perceptions about things. And so the cannon tower will just feel like the scariest tower. And then there will be 2 other towers that are of different difficulty and scariness, right? How you been? This game's looking pretty cool. Well, thank you so much, Snapthorn. I'm very happy with it. We're just doing the post-jam kind of glam up a little bit and having a good time. It's been a little frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. Getting these darn hedgehog towers working was stressful. But we got it. We got there in the end. We figured it out. I'm not seeing the laser problem again. So yeah, how are you doing, Snapthorn? What have you been up to recently? Looks like all the lasers need to get moved in a bunch, honestly. Whew. Uh-oh. We're not playing the damage sound at all anymore. Let's go to cursor, invuln. Snapthorn, you got it. I'm surprised there's still a hat redeem left. My goodness. So let's actually go here, and we're gonna do print cursor dot invuln. Because if we're not hurt, that should be... Oh, but this is probably happening after it is set in the cursor, isn't it? This is probably happening later. Yeah. Okay, that's the problem. How many hats do I have? Even more than you have the power to add. That's how many hats I have. Okay. So that's our problem. Why did we move this out of the player cursor? Why is this in the game? Why did we put this here? Is there a good reason for it? Or should we just move it into the cursor? Because it kind of feels like we should just move it into the cursor. fact, we don't even need this signal. We can just do, after we check if we're invulnerable, then we do damage sound. Just run that. And then we don't need that check in there, right? Oops. Oops. Times delta, and the this needs to be 60. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Ah, our node path is wrong. Okay, we'll try that again. And then I want to do a mod of making it self-modulate transparency a little bit, on and off. Perfect. Okay, all right. I think that's going to really help people's desire for that health bar. Okay, and then if invuln mod I don't want to do this every other frame, because that's going to be, like, if we do 2, then it's going to be outrageous, right? We need this to be a lot calmer. Self-modulate. Oh, man, how do you self-modulate? Self-modulate dot A or colon A equals 0.3. Else sprite 2D dot self-modulate colon A equals 1. I think this colon A is wrong. Yeah. Is it dot A? Is it that simple? Do you know about the bug that you can go below the laser? Yes. Yes, I do. We have not constrained the mouse cursor to... Like, I can do this. Well, there's our flash. I don't think this is going to do what I want it to do. No, it's not. How do we do this in a way that isn't awful? Because we don't want it to alternate every frame. We want it to do, like, every 10 frames or so, right? Okay, just for time's sake, variable opacity counter at equals invuln max. No, just 10. Just set it to 10. And then if opacity counter, then set it to 0.3, and opacity counter minus equals 60 times delta. If opacity counter is less than or equal to 0, then opacity counter equals then opacity is not equal to, or is equal to not opacity. I know I'm probably, like, making all the programmers scratch their heads here. We're going to do var opacity at equals false. Want to go to sleep now? I slept like 3 hours yesterday. Oh, Nectos, get some good rest in. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Okay. Self-modulate equals A. So we need... we honestly don't need this anymore. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. And then we do if opacity, then set this to 0.3. Elif else sprite 2D dot self modulate dot A equals 1. Okay, let's try that. Oh, but then we also need to reset our opacity counter. Equals 10. Lots of magic numbers here. Having a good time. Okay, that's better. That's better. Let's change it to like 30. Or not F6, F5. I think that's way better. I think that's going to communicate things a lot better to people. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. Ship it. Test the slide problems. I think we're going to say that's good. We're not going to get to pickups, unfortunately. That's a bummer. It's a bummer. Are we going to be able to do that? I don't know. It just feels like a system that's going to take more than the time we have left. And I don't want to like get started in on it and then have to be done real quick, right? Trying to plan this out in my head. We would make a new scene. It would just have a area collision, on collision with the player. We would emit a signal, and then the player would modify their hit points. Do we want to go for it? Oh, shoot. Let's go for it. Gosh dang it. I'm tired, but whatever. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. Okay, not a script. We want a scene. It's going to be health. We're going to add in a sprite 2D, and I was thinking we can just use a gradient that is radial, slap you right in the middle, change your colors to be our color palette. There we go, and then we bring you in. Except for you need to be fully opaque, and you need to be like right next to the edge. Okay. So we've got you. Why is your like central point off? Oh, it's because I've got this kind of dragged off a little bit. That is better. Okay. 0.5. There we go. Kind of do this, and then we're going to add in a particle, a CPU particle. And in fact, what we're going to do is grab the particle we have from the circles. Yeah, that feels good. That feels really good. Reset that. We're just going to modify it a little bit. So we're going to do a little bit shorter on the lifetime, 0.5. Let's go to like 0.25. Yeah. And then we're going to change the scale a bit to down to like 3. Yeah, there we go. Just a bit of a smaller thing. Do we want to change the color ramp at all? I don't know that we do, because the score and the player are the same colors. I do think we want a similar thing over here, where it is not a one-shot, and it is not explosive, and it does have gravity of like -20, -2000. There we go. Take this down to like 10 on the amount, maybe like 5, 3 even. And we're going to change the emission shape to be a sphere. with a wider radius until we kind of match the shape. Okay. Looking better. And then we're going to add in an animation player. And we're just going to add in a little bob. A little idle bob. We're going to go back to the health. We're going to key on position. Create. We're going to change this to cubic. And by the time we hit like half a second, go up 5. Key. And then at 1, back to 0. Key. And play. Nice. And then we want this repeating, just looping, and set it as our automatic. Okay. Great. So this is going to be our health pickup. We do need to add an area 2D and a collision box, which is going to be a circle. We're going to scale it out and move it up. There we go. Okay. And you're looking for the player. Oh, we've got that. Okay. Projectiles, walls. We'll just say on layer 5. We aren't using 5 yet. So the cursor can also now be looking for layer 5. Great. So, health pickup. We need to add a script for you. Scripts. Hey, good to see you, Vendo. Good to see you. How are you doing, friend? We're doing well. We're polishing up the GMTK submission, and I am working on the health pickup right now. We've got a lot of bugs sorted out. We added in another tower type. Little polish things here and there. Now we're adding in a health pickup, which people requested. So, we're going to do area 2D. How are you doing? How's Scholar going? How's everything going for you? Area entered dot emit. Okay. And you're going to emit the health pickup signal. No. What am I doing? What am I doing? This doesn't even need a script. We can just leave this blank. We don't even need this script. Cursor. No. I'm absolutely bonkers. We need a custom signal. That's how we do this. Signal bus dot player heal dot emit. Then we go to our signal bus. We add in a new signal, player heal. We go to our player, and then we do player heal. Player heal dot connect. It expects a thing? Oh, right, a function. Player heal. Okay. We're going to go down to player damage, and then we're going to put in a new one here. Life is good. Finishing up the first boss fight. What, of Scholar 2? The big woof? Going to use that to tighten up the combat and make sure it's fun. Nice! That's your kind of vertical slice? What's your test plan on it? Player heal. That's tremendously exciting. Endo, big congrats. So we're going to do this. We don't need you. We don't need the death stuff. HP plus equals 1. And then we don't do invulnerability. We don't do the damage particle. Oh, this is just going to be... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Hold on. Yeah, no, we need to do this differently. So Signal bus, exactly going to use that to time the combat, going for a Monster Hunter with Magic style game. That sounds awesome, Endo. Are going to do like crafting? I mean, you mentioned Monster Hunter, and a really big part of that is like the harvesting of the ingredients and building things. Are going to keep that up? Area 2D dot area enter dot connect. Player heal emit. And then we're going to do func player heal emit. Then we're going to do this right there. And then Q free. Yeah. But not after, not before doing explosion. Explosion dot emit. Emitting equals true. Right? That's the right one we're looking at. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And then await get tree dot create timer of 0.25 dot timeout. Okay. Now in the game, we're just gonna add a really quick health pickup. I'm just gonna place it right here and let's see what happens. Feel with all the coding I watch you and Sundown do, I should be able to do decent Godot code. Oh, it's not in the game. Print heal. You know, I watch like Unity programmers and I got no clue what they do. Okay, so it's not. What on earth? I mean, it's right there. It exists. Is it? I mean, it's not behind anything. What is going on? Yeah, we're not hitting it anywhere. You are immediately deleting yourself. Or something. I have never encountered a problem like this. It exists in the scene. It is in the game. It's right there. But then this, you know, it's not doing its animation either. You should be looping. You are looping. Okay. What on earth could be happening here? Oh, it's up there in the upper left. Okay, we got a debugger. Oh, that's right. We need to give it an area. Okay, try that. When you do area entered, it passes in the area, and if you don't have that as a part of it, then... Okay. So we are getting it. Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay, so let's reboot here. And we'll figure out the positioning thing in a sec. So we have taken damage. Our state's wrong on that, but... We hit that, and we heal up. Okay. Try again, just to, like, triple check, because it's a little hard when it's off on the opacity. There we go. Okay. Health pickup. That's good. So the cursor is flipped on its invulnerability status. Why is that happening? Here we go. Okay. So if invuln is greater than 0, just do this. That should fix it. It's a bit of a brute force. I think it's that our invulnerability time is not long enough to let it cycle back. There we go. Okay, cool. That's all working. We do need to figure out what is going on with this health pickup and why it's being reset in its position. Or maybe we don't. I don't know. Let's spawn one in our game. Let's just do a on ready. What am I doing? Health. Where are we at here? Health pickup. Don't need the leaderboard UI. Health pickup. Let's put it in the circle spawner. This is getting really gross, but I am just terrified of my son waking up and then we won't have time to do this. And I don't want to get halfway. Health pickup. Okay. So then, after we spawn in circles, we can now do health pickup. So, we will make a new var health pickup chance at equals rand I range 1 to 100. If health pickup chance is greater than or equal to 25, or less than or equal to 25, then we need to put this in here so we can use random marker. Indent, there we go. Oh, come on. Then random marker. There we go. Random marker dot how are we creating child here? We're not adding a child. Random marker dot add child var new health equals health pickup dot instantiate. We're going to add in new health. So that should be spawning things into the circle spawn points. In fact, we're going to say is less than or equal to 100. 100% drop chance. Is our code working? I don't think so. Let's use breakpoint real quick. Okay, not hitting that. Let's do print health chance, health pickup chance. Here we go. We're not even doing the print. Oh, there we go. There's our health chance. Okay. It wasn't going for the first little bit. That was weird. But that's fine. We don't want health to spawn like early on anyways. So we have theoretically, aha! It is spawned in somewhere weird. Okay. But your position is 0. So why are you being like offset so much? Oh, because we're not setting the global position. Duh. Column, circle. Active circles, is that right? Is that what we're doing? Where did we do this? Health. right here. And then we do new health dot global position equals random marker dot global position. This shouldn't necessarily matter though, because we're adding it as a child of that, and it's at 0, 0, so it should just tidy itself up real automatically, right? But maybe not. Yeah, it spawned down below. You can see it down here now. See the particles coming up. Let's do it before we add it as a child, because I have had problems sometimes where like the order of things makes it a little bit weird. Oh, duh, because this is not for the circles. This is for the turrets. And the turrets are off the screen. So let's go to where we are spawning in these circles. There we go. Whoop. Enemy spawner. Grab our on ready. Bring that back up. There we go. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Right. Yeah, we don't have random marker. We have random spawner. There we go. Let's try that. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, let's definitely refine this health pickup a little bit. The particles here are not super great. They're like falling down and then up, and I don't love that. Direction -50. Reset the initial velocity. Yeah, that's looking better. Much better, much better, much better. Okay, perfect. That's looking good. There was something else I really wanted to adjust in here that didn't seem good. At the very least, we need to take our spawn chance way down, right? So instead of being 100, let's take it to 10%. We should probably, honestly, even do less, maybe, but... There we go. Grab that. It would be really good to have a sound effect here. Let's add in and let's actually grab our scoring sound and see if we can just kind of like modify it a little bit. So what if we do like a really high pitch scale? Ooh. It feels kind of good. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that. We're going to do scoring.play. There we go. Run this one more time. See where that takes us. What is shmup? Like, what is the genre of a shmup? It's a shoot 'em up, is what it's called. And it is... there we go. We got a health there. Take a damage. Sound didn't play. So it's like, you know, Ikaruga, right? New genre, just didn't know what it meant. Yeah, that's the definition is a shoot 'em up. All right, come on, give me some more. All right. We'll change our spawn rate here back to 100. Just while we make sure that things are sounding good. Yeah, it doesn't even sound. Maybe increase the volume. Is this going into Next Fest? No. No, I don't have nearly the confidence that you do, Thornity. Why is that not playing? And this is how we do that, right? I have no confidence, just fear. I don't know, dude. You got it in. You got it. You did the application and everything. That takes a lot. I gotta pump it up to hear if it's like getting drowned out from everything else or not. No, it's not playing. Why is it not playing? Scoring.play. I mean, we're doing the emission, the particle emission. Like, that's definitely a thing that's happening. So why is the sound not playing? Yeah, you're on the effects bus. That's right. Autoplay? Yeah, I don't really know how to turn this. Okay. Weird. So like the sound exists, it's just this code is not reaching it for some reason. I don't know quite how to turn this into like a full game that people could pay for. I think it's a cute little arcade type sort of experience, but I think it would need a lot of work to turn it into something that people might want to pay $1 for. And even then, like, it feels a little bit, I don't know. I need to come up with a really good progression of, like, new towers coming in and stuff and all that fun jazz. Okay. Well, son of a biscuit. All right. Oh, gonna have to call it here. Unfortunately, I gotta go take care of kids and go be a dad. Thank you all for being here today. What a great joy this has been. I've loved having you all here. Thank you for being here and teaching me. I hope this has been helpful to any of you, if for nothing else than just like presence, you know, encouragement. Very excited for you, Thornity. Keep us in the loop, how things go. Thank you, Blades, Zaft, everyone who has been hanging out, Endo, Snapthorn, Gron, Avagrail, 2D Fighter, Hellraiser, Kehadao, Nekdos. I'm scrolling up. Y'all are chatting a bunch. Shepherd's Hound, and all the people hanging out in the shadows. Thank you so much. And anyone that I didn't get to. So great to have you all here. We're going to go ahead and raid into Symbol 24, who is a professional dev who is doing 3D Godot. And they are someone who actually knows what they're doing. So we're going to go hang out with them, learn from them while I go dad. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're going to be back tomorrow with a special guest co-stream with our good friend Quantic Flux. We're going to be playing a tower defense match 3 co-op thing. It's going to be a wild time. We're going to be hanging out, talking about that. It's going to be great. So with that being said, thank you so much for hanging out. We'll catch you next time.